So we're going to look at simplifying rational expressions, and that basically means that we're going to be simplifying fractions. And sometimes our fractions are going to have some polynomials in them that we might need to factor first. So you've simplified fractions like this before, where you have a monomial over a monomial. We know that 12 over 9 can reduce to 4 over 3. They're both divisible by 3. And then p to the 7th over p to the 5th is going to be p squared. So this is kind of, what you did with exponent rules. So once we move away from monomials and we have things like binomials or trinomials, the way that we're going to be able to cancel factors or simplify factors from the numerator and denominator is by factoring the numerator and denominator. Now in example number 2, n minus 2 does not factor any further. However, 3n squared minus 6n does have a GCF that we can factor out. So if we factor out 3n, we're left with n minus 2 inside those parentheses. Remember that if you have something over itself, like 8 over 8, this simplifies to 1 over 1, or just 1. So when we have a factor of n minus 2 in the numerator and denominator, this can simplify to 1. So our final answer after doing our simplifying, we would have 1 over 3n. Let's try another one. 3x minus 9 over 5x squared minus 16x plus 3. So if we factor the numerator, we can see there's a GCF of 3. So 3 times the quantity x minus 3. And then to factor the denominator, you need to determine how to factor it. Chances are, if I were guessing, you probably are going to use splitting the middle. So figuring out numbers that multiply to be 15 and add to be negative 16, like negative 15 and negative 1. And you could split the middle. Now, you also might be able to just kind of look ahead and say, well, this is a prime number, so I know it's going to start with 5x and x. And then 3 is a prime number, so it's going to have to be 3 and 1 or negative 3 and negative 1 in one of these places. So if you have to go through and split the middle, then you need to do that. So 5x squared minus 15x minus 1x plus 3. I could factor out a 5x from the first group and have x minus 3, and then a negative 1 out of the second group to get x minus 3. So however you do it, you should end up with 5x minus 1 is one of your factors, and x minus 3 is the other. Since x minus 3 is a factor in the numerator and denominator, that over itself is going to simplify to 1. So you're left with 3 in the numerator and 5x minus 1 in the denominator. We'll do one more. To factor the numerator here, remember this is a quadratic trinomial and the leading coefficient is 1. So there's a shortcut there. All you need is to find the two factors of 2, positive 2, that add to 3, which are 1 and 2. So the numerator is going to factor and be a plus 1 times a plus 2. The denominator has 4 terms. We always look for a GCF first, which is 7 in this case. So a cubed plus 2a squared minus a minus 2. I can factor out an a squared from that first group, leaving us with a plus 2. And out of the second group, factor out a negative 1 to have a plus 2. So this ends up being 7 times a plus 2 times a squared minus 1, which actually can factor even further because a squared minus 1 is an example of dots. So it's 7 times a plus 2 times an a squared minus 1 factors to a plus 1 times a minus 1. So our denominator is 7 times the factor a plus 2 times a plus 1 times a minus 1. So simplifying this, there's a factor of a plus 1 in the numerator and denominator, as well as a plus 2. So we are left with, since this is all in the denominator, it's going to be 1 over 7 times the quantity a minus 1.